Welcome to the video then for this Casio edifice. This is a chronograph style watch made in stainless steel with a stainless steel bracelet and safety clasp. And this one's got a glaringly obvious issue, which is the hand is missing off of that 9 o'clock dial, I should say, so just there. But that is your hour chronograph part. To be fair, this is more of a sort of fashion chrono type thing. It only ticks in seconds on the chrono, so essentially it's not one of these down to 1/20th of a second. I see another item I've got listed if you fancy one of those, but it does work. It's keeping good time. The hands are loomed, the pips around the outside are fairly dull now. It has a date facility which is framed and in colour, although it is rather small in relation to the actual overall size of the watch. This one is something in the region of 45 millimeters in width, about 42 in diameter from the edges of the tacky bezel, and it's about 11 and a bit depth. It has been worn. It's a little bit on the average side, especially with that hand missing, but that hand missing doesn't really make any odds to the overall wear and timekeeping ability of this piece. So the bezel is fixed and in pretty good order actually. Few minor scuffs to the bezel. The bracelet's seen some wear, and it will fit a, what are we talking about here? I reckon an 18 centimeter, maybe a bit bigger wrist. It's a bit floppy on my wrist. Let's just bang it on a second. So there is no spare. There is no spare links or box or paperwork, but you can get all the instructions off the Casio website dead easy. So plenty of micro adjust, 4 micro adjust holes spread over about 1 centimeter and a bit there. The clasp itself is signed and has the safety pushers. Okay, so what are we talking about there? A good gap on the underside of my 6 3/4 inch wrist, so plenty of scope to drop down the size. Okay, yeah, I suppose the bracelets are easy to get hold of. It's 22 mil, I believe, on the lug to lug width, and lug to lug distance across the top of across the whole length of the watch is about 50 mil. So it's quite a big piece. This it sort of looks about at its maximum on my 6 3/4 inch wrist, but still quite a nice presentable piece. It's not going to be dear. The chrono lets hit the button, so you can see it ticks in seconds, and there is no individual spinning dials there. So that's the minute dial. So as she rotates around, let's get my little pointing stick. So as she rotates round, that hand moves in minutes as well. But you know, who uses a chronograph like that these days? You just open up your phone, don't you, and time things to 1/100th of a second nice and accurately without having to squint and see what the actual time was. So it's important you use your phone, basically, is what I'm saying. The crown itself is not a screw down variety. It does have crown guards, but it is signed actually, that Edifice E. And she's been running and keeping the time fine. So you hit the button to stop, and you can do the usual chronograph things, then it'll reset like so. So fly back, reset. Let's do that again so you can see. Bing, stop, and she zooms back, and they center up quite happily on there, although the minute hand is a little bit off. But there is a procedure for resetting these inner dials. The hand is not in the glass there, it's not in the watch, so it has been taken apart and removed from the watch face, so it's not impeding any of the hands, or it's definitely not in there. I've double checked and looked closely. The glass is probably a mineral and is actually relatively good shape, so it's not too bad. I've seen worse, and worse for sale than what the price I'm asking for this one. As you can see, the bracelet's done a bit of work. Okay, safety clasps, pressed steel affair there. Yeah, okay, bit big for me, but that is quite a nice looking watch. Let's just bring in my Seiko 40mm so you can see what a watch which is a better fit for a smaller wrist. This one is probably aimed at 17 centimeters, 7-inch wrist, and this one here is better for a slightly smaller wrist because she is a bit smaller. Anyway, that one is for sale, by the way, and on my other items. There we go. Cheap Casio edifice for a burner watch, I suppose, is what you could describe it as. Water resistance, I can't guarantee, but no screw down crown, just rotates there. But clicks out and date sets and everything like that, all working well. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.